Remember when liberals used to tell us that behind closed doors, world leaders were absolutely mocking President Trump, that he was a laughingstock, that he was embarrassing America on the world stage? Well, what about Kamala Harris?
And amen. And boom, shakalaka. Can you give the Lord some praise in here today?
You know, there was a time in America, if you were a black Democrat and you were a leader, you were immune. People just wouldn't talk about you. People would be afraid to talk about you. The media, they would not criticize you. As a matter of fact, when President Barack Hussein Obama was in office, you had Republicans literally terrorized into complaining about his policies. They were afraid of being labeled racist. In time, they got used to the idea that Obama's policies were so bad they had to say something, but they still respected him, especially as a club member, the first black president. He, was untouchable. Well, not so with Kamala Harris. Everything has changed, and not because she's so brilliant, her policies, the Biden policies are so great. No, the problem with Kamala Harris is that she is so vapid, so empty, so ridiculous that she is the perfect object of scorn. And it's not just conservatives and Americans that are comfortable with pointing out her empty-headedness. No, this now has become a worldwide thing. The very thing that the left can accuse President Trump of embarrassing people behind closed doors. No, the Biden administration, they're openly being mocked by our allies. And Kamala Harris, well, she's useless. And when you think about how art sometimes imitates life and life imitates art, there is a fantastic video out there right now that is captured that to a T, and it has gone viral.
My fellow Americans, words have many meanings, and sometimes instead of conveying our meaning, they can suggest other meanings.
When we talk about the children of the community, they are children of the community.
Well, we are the United States of America because we are united. And we are states.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Whatever we have in store cannot be known. The past was once the future. The future is, I should say, unknown.
We got to take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to have to take it seriously.
Obesity is a serious disease, and it needs to be taken seriously.
You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
I hope that clarifies the issue, and this can be the last word on those words.
Certain issues are just settled.
Clearly we're not.
No, that's right. And that's why I do believe that we are living, sadly, in real unsettled times.
You can't make that up. you can't make that up. Of course, that's Louise Dreyfus in The Veep. That was a show that appeared on cable. I can tell you, I've never watched a full episode of it, but now I kind of want to, because obviously the writers of The Veep had their finger on the pulse of the Biden administration. They had their finger on the pulse of Kamala Harris. I mean, you had Louise Dreyfus here playing the role of someone who was vapid, someone who was empty-headed, someone who was making it up as they go, someone who was not intellectual, someone who had absolutely no gravitas. And that's exactly what we have in Kamala Harris. She was an affirmative action pick. She was the choice that the Biden administration, or whoever's controlling the Biden administration, thought it would be best, because she would bring in the minority vote. She would bring in the vote of black people. And for some reason, the powers that be thought that she would be a worthy successor to the Biden administration. Nothing could be further from the truth. As bad as Biden is, this woman is worse because she's daft and she's in her right mind. What does this say? Well, I think that this is a disaster for the Democrats. This is a disaster because they can't get rid of Kamala Harris. If they try to replace her with what? A white male? If they try to replace her with a Gavin Newsom, how's that going to fly? How's that going to work? If they try to replace her with Mayor Pete Buttigieg, how's that going to work? Oh, the Democrat Party kicked to the curb the first person of color who was the vice president. They're doomed. They've boxed themselves in. And more importantly, not only do we in America know that the Democrats are doomed because of this asinine choice, people around the world know it. Whereas we're slow to criticize our politicians, especially if they're Democrats, the world is not. And the world has had open season on the Biden administration, on Joe Biden and his dementia and his just gaffes. And of course, they've had open season on Kamala Harris. And we can laugh at it because it's funny. But on the flip side, it's not so funny because we are facing a lot of crises in this world, in our country and in the world. And with Joe Biden being in the number one position and Kamala Harris in the number two position and Nancy Pelosi in the number three, well, damn. We're looking at Russia. We're looking at Vladimir Putin. We're looking at China threatening Taiwan. We're looking at North Korea blowing off missiles over Japan. All of a sudden, the hapless, empty-headed Kamala Harris and the gaffe-filled, dementia-driven Biden, they're not bringing comfort to the world. And more importantly, they're giving our enemies clear signals that they can take advantage of us, and they already have been. So I guess there's two ways to look at this. We could be either scared to death and absolutely cower in the fetal position, or we continue praying for this country and just laugh at the corner that the Democrats have painted themselves in. I do believe we're going to see our way out of this by the grace of God. We're going to see our way out of this. And my hope is starting in November, people will never vote for the Democrat Party again. My name is James T. Harris. This is my YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe to it. Also, hit that notification bell. That way, every time we put up a new video, you'll be notified. Until we meet again.